CNN military analyst, retired Lieutenant General Mark Hertling. Good morning, General. And I'd like to start by just getting a reaction to what we heard today from President Putin. Your reaction to his speech, and then also, I think really the big news from that speech this morning, which was that Russia was going to be pulling out or not participating in the New START nuclear treaty. How do you view that bit of news in particular? Do you view it as more symbolic, or does it have some real teeth?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good morning, Kristen and Jim. I do see it as somewhat symbolic, but I also see it as Putin hurting himself. I think he wants to gain more intelligence from us than we want to gain from him with this New START treaty. And, the comment by Fred Pleitgen earlier about, they were concerned about how much intelligence Ukraine had gained from the Engels Air Force Base in Russia, which is near Moscow. It was just fascinating to me because it's basically saying, hey, they want to target our facilities. Of course they do. But going back to your original question, I like Fred Pleitgen, I woke up and watched Mr. Putin's speech. Besides the New START treaty, the comments about pedophilia in the West, traitors in Russia will be punished. The West started the war. Western elites are responsible for Ukrainian escalation. These are similar tropes that we've been hearing from Mr. Putin all year long. So his state of the Russian Federation, unlike our State of the Union, at least he didn't have someone standing up yelling liar, but he did have a lot of sleepy parliamentary members and generals in that audience because they've heard it all before.
Let me ask you, General Hertling, those are not the words of a president who is looking to end this war. He's digging in, and he may have China's help going forward. There was some hope that maybe this was the year that Ukraine breaks through those Russian lines, takes back territory, maybe Russia sues for peace. But is that, as you hear those words and you hear China considering stepping in, does that hope disappear?
It doesn't, Jim. And one of the things I didn't mention about his speech, he had a big section where he vowed to systemically press the offensive, which tells me he's not changing his strategic objectives. And as you and I have talked on several occasions, those 5 strategic objectives that he had at the beginning of the war have failed in every single phase of the war. Yeah. He has not been able to press those. He has shown, the inability to get his soldiers moving on the battlefield. And I don't think we're going to see any more of that other than more killing of Russian mobilized troops, which is going to be unfortunate.
But let me ask you,
China. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is the effect of that, if Russia is incapable of gaining back territory, but it's digging in and it's going to have help from China, is the effect of that just lengthening the slog, in effect, right? No clear winner, but a lot of, sadly, death and destruction on the battlefield, like we've seen so much in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks is a rush to victory by both sides, if you will. Russia is going to continue to put more on the front lines, but they're mobilized, untrained forces, and it will create a slog and, unfortunately, a lot of death for Russian soldiers and Ukrainians as well. But I think Ukraine is attempting to push the envelope, get trained in Europe, in Germany, in Poland, in UK, the various places where they're training, and being able to capably execute an offensive. And I see that happening later in the winter, probably early spring. So we're going to see some back and forth for a while, but I do believe that Ukraine is going to take the fight to the enemy and regain much of their territory in the spring and early summer.
Goodness, so it'll be a lot to watch in the coming weeks because both sides seem to be digging in for something aggressive. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Hertling, thanks so much as always. Lieutenant General, I didn't say Colonel, did I? You're the Lieutenant General for sure. Lieutenant General Mark Hertling.
Thank you, General.
Those were some of my best years, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah, we do not demote our guests on the air.